Saturday. It's February 29th, and I'm out at the woodpile again. And to be honest, I didn't think I was going to get to make this video today. Spring it's on its way. But just a quick video today. You're going to see me split the biggest round that I have in my woodpile right now with the smallest axe that I own. You guys have seen it. I know you have. This is my little racehorse, my test axe. That's the 2 1/4 pound axe head. It's a 25-inch haft that's been modified. Right? This was from the hardware store. I paid $25 for it. Dead stock, other than the modifications to the handle. But just as a fun little comparison, here is the biggest axe that I own. Now this is a 6-pound double-bitted axe, and it's what's known as a full peeling pattern. It's been hung on a very stout 36-inch hickory handle. But I just thought I'd give you that size comparison there. Right, we're about to do heavy-duty splitting with something that conventional wisdom will tell you you should never use, or was never designed to be used for this. And well, I'll let you be the judge of it, but as you're about to see, it does a fantastic job of it. It's enough yak. Let's get you guys set up and get to splitting. All right, folks, welcome back to the show. I'm just out at the woodpile today, and I'm going to be doing a bit of an experiment here. What I'm doing is I'm going to be splitting the biggest round that I currently have in my woodpile. And I think I mentioned it before, but this is western hemlock, and it's not the nicest material in the world to split. It's not terrible, but it's not all that bad. This happens to be the first round in the butt log, so it is going to be stringier than the rest. And there are a decent number of knots in here, and I just want to go through my process. So right here you can see I'm finding that crack, that check that forms in the pith or at the pith, and it extends radially outward towards the edge. And I'll trace that back to the bark, and then kind of make my determination from there. Like you saw, I was checking for knots just to see if that crack's going to interfere. And I take my first swing, and I see what's going on, see how it feels, what it sounds like. In this case, I choose to jump back to the other side because it's giving me a little bit of trouble. And as you'll see me do, I end up marching my way across the round with the bit of the axe. But I'm running into trouble, right? It's not popping, it's not giving way. And what I'm about to do is a technique that I use when I split stringy or really gnarly wood, and I call it making space. And I want to talk about that more in the future, but the basic principle is that if I see that my initial line of cut isn't going to pan out for me because the wood might be twisted or stringy, I'll abandon it and start cutting at 90 degrees to that original split line. And the theory is that when you're trying to split twisted wood, that twist in the grain, it prevents, or it's holding the wood together in such a way that it just doesn't have the space to pop open. So I will march around this round, cutting 90 degrees or cut it like conventional cordwood, even though it's not splitting open yet. And eventually, those individual splits, those individual cuts will allow that round to open up enough, right? It's an interesting technique. Again, I call it making space because from what I've been able to tell, that's kind of what you need when you're splitting these types of rounds. Those pieces need room, they need space to be able to open up in the twisted or funny way that they've grown. But now you can see we're off to the races here, and we're styling. Again, this is that 2 1/4 pound axe. It's a 25-inch hickory haft that I've done some work to in the shop to take quite a bit of the bulk and the girth out of the handle. I've emphasized the crank. Just pointing out some knots here that I'm going to need to work around. But just a tremendous axe, and I couldn't be happier with the way that this experiment's panning out right now. But clearly we're not we're not having any trouble getting this round broken apart, and who knew, right? If you listen to convention, it would say that this just doesn't happen, and that you wouldn't do this. Fortunately, I've never been one to take anything at face value, and I choose to find things out for myself. But just a fun little video and an experiment, and a little trial that I've been waiting to do for quite a while. I've been holding off splitting this round just for this occasion. It's been quite a bit of fun. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll bring you guys back when I get another chance. Friends, I just want to make a quick point. You hear about finding your crack, like in the round, fairly frequently, and I know some of you probably already know what this is or what it means, but if you don't know, or if you've heard about it and you're kind of unclear as far as what they're talking about, here it is. The crack is referring to the actual check that forms at the pith, or the very center of the round, and they run radially outward, which is basically saying that they run in somewhat of a straight line from the very center of the round at the pith, and they run outward to the edge. So this crack represents a line of stress, a stress fracture that's already starting to form. That's a weak point. And that's a very good thing to try to exploit with your first blow. Right? Like if you trace that line, or imagine that line out to the edge, that's a great starting point to make your first hit with your axe. That's good. Let's take a look at this. If you were ever wondering why people tell you that you shouldn't split through knots, back you guys up. There you go. That's why. That knot was stronger than the overall fiber of the wood. Like, there's the piece. Let's see. How was that? Yeah, it was right there. Right? So that's where my axe came in and cut through, and that whole piece just snapped right off. So it just wouldn't be right to bring that big double peeling pattern axe out and not put it into some wood. So it's going to be an interesting kind of a comparison, the way that this axe swings and hits to our little experiment axe. But this is a fantastic axe. It hits like a freight train, and if you ever are in a position or in a need to break and bust knots apart, this is your tool. But it is definitely it's a different dynamic, and it has a very different energy and flow to it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're into axes and this type of stuff interests you, let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you have any questions or anything else I can answer about it. This is like I said before, this is a fantastic test. I just couldn't be happier, and I'm really looking forward to diving further into this and exploring proportions and ratios in axes. So once again, glad you made it over, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So thanks for stopping by. Well, folks, that was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad you could be here with me. Say, if you like axes and cutting firewood, I would encourage you to go check out a video I did a little while back documenting my most memorable firewood adventure to date. I will leave a link in the video description below if you're interested. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It's great feedback and it tells me I'm doing what I need to do. Thanks a lot.